The C-SPAN networks bring you long-form public affairs programming from the nation's capital and are a public service of your television provider. C-SPAN, created by cable.
What do you think is next for you politically?
You know, I like this job. If you talk to governors and they're honest, a lot of them will tell you, I like being governor better. But I think I've lucked out a little because I came into the Senate and I'm on some really wonderful committees. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. I'm one of the few senators who have a child in the military, so that actually is a pretty important connection. But also Virginia has a military connection that's like second to none, and so this is so deeply important to our state and important to me. I'm on the Foreign Relations Committee. 1 out of 9 Virginians was born in another country, and I've lived in another country, and if you live somewhere else or were born somewhere else, you care about the role of America in the world, and Virginians do care. So those are committees. The Budget Committee, I don't know why they just put me on the Aging Committee. I still haven't figured that out. But I really love my committees, and so I will be up for re-election in 2018, and I'm kind of taking John Warner as my role model. He was in the Senate for 30 years and did a great job for Virginia and was courageous. If he saw something happen in his party, for example, that he didn't like, when the Republican Party nominated Oliver North for the Senate seat, in 1994, he said, include me out. I'm not supporting Oliver North for Senate. That was very courageous of him to do that. But he basically said, my country and my Commonwealth are more important than my party, and this would be the wrong thing for my country and my Commonwealth. And so I use his longevity, but also his willingness to do what he thought was right, along with my father-in-law. I kind of used them as examples, and I hope to be here for a long time.
Would serving as president of the Senate give you a bigger platform?
You know, I got a good platform right now, and I really like my job. I'm a happy senator, and I'm not looking for another one. I am, as you know, I mean, I'm doing a ton of work for Hillary to try to get her elected. I think the world of her, and I think she's going to be a superb president. And I also think I was one of the earliest supporters of President Obama, and still am a friend and still am a supporter, and think he's done a really, really good job under very tough circumstances. In some ways, though, I think the existential choice posed for the nation in 2016 is even sharper than 2008, because if President Obama had lost to Senator McCain, I would have been bitterly disappointed, but it wouldn't have represented a fundamental change in the direction of the country, I don't think. But we've got issues on the table of, like, should you bring torture back? Should we take the Virginia value of freedom of religious worship and turn it on its head after 250 years and punish people because they're Muslims, and if it's Muslims today, it could be somebody else tomorrow? Should we use a tar brush to paint everybody from a recent immigrant to a federal judge as negative because they're Latino? These are big, challenging issues, and the choice for the nation is an existential one. So I'm going to do all I can to help Secretary Clinton win. And the nice thing is I don't have to travel far from home, because Virginia is now a battleground state, and rather than worry about what happens with a hanging Chad in Florida or a poll closing late in Ohio, in Virginia we kind of have the feeling now, if we just take care of business at home, we have an ability to play a real role in who the next president will be.
So one final question on this point. If she said, Tim, I can win with you, I want you to serve as my running mate, what would you tell her?
Well, look, I really like my job and I want to stay. I think I can help her win, and I think I can help her win most by helping her win Virginia, and that's what I am doing already. So she's got a lot of directions that she can go, and she's going to choose a person who is the best suited to help her govern and to help her win. And I was vetted for this spot back in 2008, and I loved being mentioned, but my gut was never saying, I think it's going to be me, and I don't feel that differently now.